It's Wednesday. Can you work out where I am today? I think it's a little bit more difficult today, but I think I'm going to save the most difficult one for tomorrow. But I hope you're ready, because now we're going to do another chapter from My Naughty Little Sister. My naughty little sister shows off. Do you like climbing? My naughty little sister used to like climbing very much indeed. She climbed up fences and on chairs and down ditches and round railings, and my mother used to say, "One day that child will fall and hurt herself." But our father said, "She will be all right if she is careful." And my little sister was careful. She didn't want to hurt herself. She climbed on easy things, and when she knew she had gone far enough, she always came down again, slowly, slowly, carefully, carefully, one foot down, the other foot down, like that. My little sister was so careful about climbing that our father nailed a piece of wood onto our front gate so that she would have something to stand on when she wanted to look over it. There was a tree by the gate, and father put an iron handle on the tree to help her to hold on tight. Wasn't he a kind daddy? Well now, one day, my naughty little sister went down to the front gate because she thought it would be nice to see all the people going by. She climbed up carefully, carefully like a good girl, and she held on to the iron handle, and she watched all the people going down the street. So you can see there, look, she's standing on the wooden post there, and she's holding on to the iron handle. That is quite cool. It's kind of like being able to stand out on the balcony now. First, the postman came along. He said, "Hello, monkey," and that made her laugh. She said, "Hello, postman. Have you any letters for this house?" And the postman said, "Not today, I'm afraid, monkey." My little sister laughed again because the postman called her monkey, but she remembered to hold on tight. Then Mr. Coco Jones went by on his bicycle. Mr. Coco said, "Don't fall," and he ling-a-linged his bicycle bell at her. "Be very careful," said Mr. Coco Jones, and ling-a-ling, said Mr. Coco Jones's bell. My naughty little sister said, "I won't fall. I won't fall, Mr. Coco. I'm sensible." And Mr. Coco ling-a-linged his bell again and called, "Goodbye." My naughty little sister waved to Mr. Coco. She waved very carefully. She didn't lean forward to see him go round the corner or anything silly like that. No, she was most careful. She was careful when the nice baker came with the bread. She climbed down carefully, carefully, and let him in. She was careful when cars went by. She held tight and stood very still. She saw a steamroller and a rag and bone man, and she held very tight indeed. See if you can find out what a rag and bone man is. We don't really have them anymore, but it would be something that will show you when this kind of thing was written. Then my naughty little sister saw her friend, Bad Harry, coming down the road, and she forgot to be sensible. She began to show off. My little sister shouted, "Harry, Harry, look at me! I'm on the gate, Harry!" Bad Harry did look at her because she called in such a loud voice, "Look at me!" like that. Then my silly little sister stood on one leg only, just because she wanted Bad Harry to think that she was a clever girl. That made Bad Harry laugh, so my little sister showed off again. She stood on the other leg only, and then she let go of the tree and waved her arms. And then she fell right off the gate. Bump! She fell down and bumped her head. Oh dear, her head did hurt, and my poor little sister cried and cried. Bad Harry cried too, and my mother came hurrying out of the house to see what had happened. Our dear mother said, "Don't cry, baby," in a kind, kind voice. "Don't cry, baby dear," she said, and she put my little sister up and took her indoors, and Bad Harry followed them. They were still crying and crying. They cried so much that my mother gave them each a sugar lump to suck. Then they stopped crying because they found out that they couldn't cry and suck at the same time. Then our mother looked at my sister's poor head. "What a nasty bruise," our mother said. "I think I had better put something on it for you. and you must be a good, brave girl while I do it." My little sister was a good, brave girl too. She held Bad Harry's hand very tight, and she shut her eyes while Mother put some stingy stuff out of a bottle onto her poor head. Our mother did it very quickly, and my brave little sister didn't fidget and she didn't cry. Wasn't she good? When our mother had finished, she gave my little sister and her friend Bad Harry an apple each, and they went out into the garden to play. They had a lovely time playing in the garden. First they picked dandelions and put them in the water tub for boats. Oh, that's nice. Then they played hide and seek among the cabbages. Then they made a little house underneath the apple tree. Then they found some blue chalk and drew funny old men on the tool shed door. And my little sister forgot all about her poor head. When our father came home and saw my naughty little sister playing in the garden, he said, "Hello, old lady, have you been in the wars?" And my little was surprised because she'd forgotten all about falling off the gate. Father said, "You've got a nasty lump on top." So my little sister thought she would go indoors and look at her nasty lump. She climbed up onto a chair to look at herself in the mirror on the kitchen wall, and she saw that there was a big bump on her forehead. It was all yellowy-greeny. Our mother said, "Climbing again? I should think you would have had enough climbing for one day." My little sister looked at her big bump in the mirror, then she carefully climbed down from the chair. Carefully, carefully. She climbed down very carefully indeed. And do you know what she said? She said, "I like climbing very much, but I don't like falling down. And I certainly don't like nasty bumps on my head. So I don't think I will be a showing-off girl any more." Have you got any stories about falling or showing off or doing anything that you shouldn't have? My little sister, when she was very little, our house had a wall between us and next door. And on our side, the wall was only about that tall. But to the next door, it was much taller. So my little sister sat on the wall and was kicking her legs and just kind of, not really paying attention. And she leant back as if she was sitting in a chair. But of course she wasn't sitting on a chair. She was sitting on a wall. And she went up. And I just remember turning round and just seeing some legs go flying backwards. And just like my naughty little sister, she cried and she cried and she cried. But she didn't have a bump on here. She had a bump on here. She didn't go near the wall again. So enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.